Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of PP Productions. Today we're going to be doing some fault finding on the daily. So, what it's doing, it's not going to do it right now because it's cold, but when it warms up, it starts to miss at idle or just accelerating from idle, but not just idle, it does it from like higher revs as well. So it might be at like 2000 revs say, and you'll be cruising down the highway and you'll sort of coast, and as you come back on the throttle and it's just opening the throttle body butterfly, it starts to hesitate a little bit and then it comes good. It doesn't come good like when you apply more throttle or you know, a bit less throttle. You seem to just hold it at the same spot and it'll come good. And yeah, it doesn't matter really how you accelerate, it'll just hesitate, it'll miss a little bit and then it'll come good. So I'm going to be trying to find out what that problem is today. I've got a couple of theories. I think it might be a TPS, a throttle position sensor, or it also could be a vacuum leak maybe. Failing that, we could be looking at maybe an injector. You know, when it's a really low duty cycle, it might not be opening properly. So yeah, we're just going to get stuck right into it and see if we can figure it out. So, pulled up at Repco, get a few things. Just simple stuff like a fuel filter and see if they've got a gauge, try and test fuel pressure. We'll see how that goes. So it's right next to Repco. Oh, trap for young players, that one. Oh, quick look in here now. RIP wallet. Lady's really keen on a sack trolley. Not as keen as I am on this kebab bar. Oh my god, it's so hectic. Not bad. Give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 Pelicans out of 10 on the official scale. They're a little like stingy on the hummus, so not quite as hectic as I'd like, but it's still pretty good. Ah, damn it. Spent all my money on tools again. Okay, so first of all, we need to scan the ECU to see if it's actually got any active codes. So then, instead of just going around and guessing and throwing parts at it, we might actually be able to find what's wrong without even having to test anything. So how do we do that? Don't have a scan tool? Ask the internet. And because it's the internet, it's always right. Aha, pinouts. The internet strikes again. So basically, what do we have to do? We have to bridge two of the pins in the ECU plug pinout thing, and then we have to put an LED test light between two other pins. And then when we turn our ignition on, it's going to go through and strobe us like a sort of a Morse code type signal, which will translate into a code, and then we can look on the workshop manual or probably the internet again, because it's always right, and we'll find what that code actually relates to. Hopefully we'll look at it at a TPS sensor. Let's do it. Open it up and see if we can see anything obvious. We have found the problem. Look, it hasn't caused a fire. Been driving it around for a while. I just haven't had time to fix it yet. But in here, little focus, fuel pressure reg, and it's leaking out of the back of the fuel rail. Looks like it's leaking out of the back of the reg. And there's the fuel line on the back of that fuel pressure reg. And then we'll undo the two 10mm bolts to take the reg off the end of the rail. Not the one time ever that he actually found a fentanyl when he wanted it. Right. There it is, that sucker there. There's actually leaking out this crimp section right here. Well, there you go, guys. See, it really shows that I should have shot beyond the mark with what I was guessing for. Could have been any of the things I said, but it turns out it was as simple as just a fuel pressure reg. Literally leaking just out of the crimp where the two halves of the regulator diaphragm are just crimped together, so just leaking straight out of there, straight onto the floor, and obviously it just wasn't getting fuel pressure at idle for some reason, or just above idle. But then, you know, the diaphragm and the little valve was moving when vacuum was taken away or given or something, and then, you know, to get enough fuel pressure that it was still working, normally under load. So yeah, that's interesting. Not sure 100% if that will fix it, but I mean, there was fuel leaking out onto the floor, so I'm guessing that was a problem. But yeah, got one lined up. I've got to go get it from a wreckers in the morning. So get the Typhoon out of the shed, go for a drive in there, and yeah, get a new regulator. See how that goes. Put it on, and if the problem is solved, then it's a win. If not, then back to square one. Sweet. Alright, well, we'll have another go tomorrow. Alright, so it's the next morning. Since my car's broken, we're going to take the Typhoon to go get parts. Before we wake her up, need to wake me up. Ooh. Brilliant. Alright, we'll go wake the Typhoon up. Okay, so while I'm in it, I'll give you a bit of an update on this car. I'm not sure if I've mentioned previously about a residual vibration that's in it. Pretty sure I mentioned it in a previous video. But I'm pretty certain that it isn't anything after the gearbox now. I'm pretty sure it's not the tail shaft, and it can't be anything else past that because I've replaced everything. So I'm actually starting to think that I might be up for a gearbox. So yeah, big sad face right there. I think the problem is with all the punishment and unbalanced shaft it's had in the past, it's kind of upset some bearings in certain sections of the gearbox. I think what's happened is, because when you cruise along in fifth gear around 100, 110, the vibration's quite prominent. You shift to fourth at the same load, or sixth, and it just about disappears. So yeah, might do some fault finding on that in another video, see if we can figure out what's going on. Hey guys, sorry about the noise. There's a street sweeper outside and it's rowdy AF. So there's the old fuel pressure reg. Picked up a new one at the wreckers just before. 20 bucks, ain't bad. Hopefully it works. It solves my problem. It's obviously going to be way easier right now to put this hose on the regulator because it's right up the back of the rail. You don't want to, you know, be trying to do that while it's in the car because it's just really hard to get at. You can see the car at the wrecking yard where I pulled this off. I couldn't get to this hose and undo it off the regulator, and it was dropped on its belly, so I couldn't get underneath and undo the hose clamp like on that end. So I just cut it. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure I tighten this one onto there before I put it in the car, and happy days. There we go. It's always a good idea when you're taking something apart, just put the bolts back in the bolt holes. That way you can't lose them. You know exactly where they are when it comes to putting it back together. Pro tip. Okay, that's that bit on. Since I got a new fuel filter yesterday, I thought I might as well just change it. Freshy. And yeah, there's like all sorts of stuff coming out of this one. It's a little bit gross. Probably a good move changing that. Okay, so it's all plumbed back up. Just going to prime the fuel system a couple times, go over it, make sure nothing's leaking, and then we'll try and start it. What happened there? The MAF sensor line came off when I was changing it before. So yeah, make sure everything's plugged back in. Had a massive vacuum leak and obviously wasn't getting any reference of manifold pressure. There, that should help. Now just to be sure, I'll let it warm up and I'll take it for a drive. Because last time it wouldn't do it until it got warm, so. Running much better with that plug in. Sweet. Welcome back inside the daily. Oh man, they were shitting me. That's really annoying. So I've just jumped back in it. I've just done that fuel pressure reg, which was leaking, and it's still doing its miss thing. Oh, that's so annoying. Alright guys, update. I've just been dicking around under the bonnet, and I was just putting my finger on each of the fuel injectors and just giving it a little rev as it was doing, because it was only sort of hesitating just when you initially rev it. And I thought it was number 5 fuel injector at first, and I unplugged that and sort of gave it a bit of a rev to see if it made it, you know, worse or it was still the same. It seemed to make it worse, so I plugged it back in, and then unplugged number 6, and it seemed to rev pretty similar. It was missing sort of the same way as it was when it was plugged in. And as I plugged the injector back in, and the engine sort of like livened back up as it was, you know, running on all 6 again, it was sort of like, oh, it's running extra smooth now. And yeah, gave it a rev and it seems to have fixed it. So I don't know, it might have been just a dicky connection in the injector loom. Either that or there was like a bit of stuff stuck in the injector, and unplugging it and plugging it back in and, you know, changing a fuel filter and stuff might have just sort of sorted it out. But we'll go take it for a drive and see if we've nailed it completely. Oh baby, we're back. 158 kilowatts of pure Pelican performance, mate. That's what's in this rig, I'll tell ya. Prime example of Australian engineering, the EF Falcon. Oh mate, what a rig. Hopefully it can go back to being a reliable daily. So the fuel pressure regulator shit in the bed was obviously just a coincidence that it happened sort of at the same time, because yeah, it didn't change the problem at all with the injector, and yeah, it was just a shitty connection by the feel of it. I mean, it's fine now. Party time. Oh, a little limiter bash in a second. Back. She's back for we've had success. 50 bucks from a wrecker and a, you know, $23 fuel filter that didn't need to be changed, but it's good to change those things because clean fuel is good fuel. Dirty fuel just kind of it up. That's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe. See you next video.